What if I told you the secret to getting rich isn't about skipping your daily coffee? And what if I told you that the image of wealth you see on social media, the private jets, the designer logos, isn't the full story? What if that's just the result of wealth, but not the method for building it? Most people think that to get rich, you have to save every penny. But the real secret isn't just about saving more. It's about buying differently. The wealthy buy things that pay them back. Everyone else buys things that just disappear. This isn't about being cheap. It's about a complete reprogramming of your financial DNA. It's about uncovering the spending habits that build generational wealth, not just a flashy Instagram feed. For so many of us, money is a source of anxiety, a constant battle fought paycheck to paycheck. You work hard, you deserve a little luxury, right? That's the trap. It's a mindset engineered by a consumer world to keep you on a hamster wheel. But what if you could step off? What if you could learn to think like the wealthy long before you have their bank account? You don't need to be rich to start. But you do need to stop buying things to look wealthy and start buying things to become wealthy. Today we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to explore 7 types of assets the rich invest in to build fortunes. And by the end, you'll know exactly what they are and how you can use your money, no matter how much you have right now, to build your own legacy. One of these might surprise you because on the surface, it doesn't look like a rich person's purchase at all. 1. Assets that generate income. The first and most fundamental thing the wealthy buy is the engine of wealth itself. They buy assets that generate income. This is the cornerstone of building a fortune. The average consumer spends for a short-term dopamine hit, pleasure, relief, or status. The wealthy spend to get ownership, cash flow, and leverage. Let's be crystal clear on the difference. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. That new phone you're financing? It's a liability. The value plummets the second you open the box, and the monthly payments are a slow drain. That luxury car with the huge lease payment? A massive liability designed to impress people you don't know while making you poorer every month. The wealthy get this distinction in their bones. They don't just ask, how much does it cost? They ask, what does it return? They buy things that work for them so they don't have to work forever. This includes dividend-paying stocks, small pieces of huge companies that pay you a share of their profits. It includes real estate investment trusts, or REITs, that let you collect rent from giant properties without being a landlord. It also includes index funds, bonds, and even royalty-producing assets from music or intellectual property. Imagine 2 friends, Alex and Ben, who each get a $5,000 bonus. Alex, stuck in the consumer mindset, feels he's earned a reward. He buys a $4,000 luxury watch and blows the other $1,000 on a weekend trip. He gets a great weekend and a shiny object. For a moment, he feels rich. Ben, on the other hand, starts to think differently. He takes that same $5,000 and invests it in a low-cost, dividend-paying index fund. His purchase is invisible. There are no flashy photos. No one congratulates him. It's honestly a little boring. Now let's fast forward 5 years as a hypothetical. Alex's watch is now worth maybe half what he paid for it, and the trip is a distant memory. He's still at the same job, waiting for the next bonus to get his next hit of pleasure. Ben's $5,000, however, has been working. The dividends it produced were reinvested, buying more shares, which in turn produced more dividends. Thanks to the principle of compounding and hypothetical market growth, his initial $5,000 investment could now be worth over $7,500, and it's paying him a small but growing stream of passive income. While Alex was working for his money, Ben's money started working for him. This is the fundamental split. One path leads to a life of payments. The other leads to a life of ownership and freedom. The rich buy assets because assets buy them time and eventually their freedom. Number 2, businesses and ownership stakes. The second thing rich people buy is a direct evolution of the first. They don't just buy assets, they buy or build the machines that create assets. They buy businesses and ownership stakes. A job pays you once for your time. A business can pay you over and over again for a system you created. This is the critical shift from earning wages to building equity. The wealthy understand that real scale doesn't come from a raise. It comes from owning the machine that generates the revenue. The average person is trained to be an employee and a consumer. The wealthy person trains themselves to be an owner. This doesn't mean you have to launch the next Silicon Valley unicorn. Ownership can take many forms. It could mean buying a small, profitable local business like a laundromat or car wash, acquiring a franchise with a proven system, or buying an online business that generates ad revenue. The psychological shift here is huge. It's the difference between buying a product from a company and wanting to own a piece of that company. Why? Because ownership gives you leverage. Your income is no longer tied to the hours you can personally work. It's tied to a system that can grow even when you're sleeping. Let's go back to our friends. Imagine a young professional, Sarah, who realizes she's spending $500 a month on food delivery and impulse online shopping, a silent drain driven by convenience and boredom. Then she makes a choice. She decides to become an owner. She cuts her impulse spending and redirects that $500 a month. It's not enough to buy a business outright, but it's enough to start one. She uses that money to build a side business. Let's say she's a graphic designer and starts a small agency. The first 6 months are a grind. She's working late nights after her day job. The income is small. She sees friends going out buying new things and feels the sting of delayed gratification. But she's not just earning money, she's building a system. She's creating processes, a client list, a brand. After a year, her side business is consistently making $1,000 a month. After 2 years, she hires her first freelancer. After 3, the business is making more than her day job, and she has the option to quit. She went from being a consumer spending money on things that vanished to an owner of a machine that generates income. The wealthy buy businesses because businesses don't just pay money. They create systems that can keep paying long after the initial work is done. Number 3, education, skills, and self-development. The third thing rich people buy is arguably one of the most powerful investments on this list. It's the one asset that can never be taken away from you. They invest in themselves. They buy education, high-value skills, and relentless self-development. Most people see education as something you finish when you're young. The wealthy see it as a lifelong investment in their single greatest asset, their own human capital. They understand that what you earn is tied to the value you can bring to the marketplace. So the fastest way to increase your income is to increase your value. This isn't just about formal degrees, though those can have a strong return on investment. For many, the most valuable education happens after school. We're talking about buying books that reprogram your thinking. We're talking about courses that teach you a high-income skill like coding, copywriting, or digital marketing. We're talking about hiring coaches or mentors to shorten your learning curve. We're talking about workshops that help you master communication, negotiation, and leadership. Someone might scoff at spending $1,000 on a course. I can't afford that. The wealthy person asks a different question. What is the cost of not knowing this for the next 10 years? They see the $1,000 not as an expense, but as an investment that could yield a massive return over their career. A $300 course on a valuable skill might not feel as glamorous as new shoes, but that course could lead to a promotion, a new career, or the ability to launch your own business. While the return isn't guaranteed, the potential is enormous. Consider Maria, a marketing coordinator who feels stuck and underpaid. Instead of scrolling through social media, she identifies a gap in her market: data analytics. She sees that companies need marketers who can prove their campaigns are working with data. She finds a rigorous online certification that costs $2,000. It's a lot of money, and it means cutting back on other things. It's a sacrifice. But she enrolls. For 6 months, she dedicates 10 hours a week to studying. It's hard, but she's transforming. She starts applying what she's learning at her job. Her boss notices. After she gets her certification, she applies for a marketing analyst position at another company and lands it with a 30% salary increase. Within 2 years of developing and leveraging her new skills, she has the potential to double her original salary. That $2,000 investment wasn't a cost. It was the key that unlocked a new level of earning power. Some people buy things to look smart. Wealthy people buy knowledge so they can become irreplaceable. If you're finding this journey into the mindset of the wealthy valuable, do me a favor and hit that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm this is important information and helps get this message out to more people who need to hear it. Let's keep going. Number 4, time-saving systems and convenience. The fourth thing rich people buy is something everyone has in equal measure, yet they value it more than almost anything. They buy back their time. To many, buying convenience can look like laziness, paying for a cleaner, using a meal prep service, hiring an assistant. These are often seen as luxuries, but for the wealthy, it's about leverage. They understand that time is a finite resource. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So, they strategically spend money to escape low-value tasks so they can focus on high-value activities. This is especially true for entrepreneurs or anyone whose income is tied to their output. If your time is worth $100 an hour, it makes no sense to spend 3 hours on a task you could pay someone $20 an hour to do. Every hour you spend on mundane chores is an hour you're not spending on generating income, building your business, or simply recharging for peak performance. Let's look at David, a freelance consultant who feels constantly overwhelmed. He's working 60 hours a week, juggling client work with bookkeeping, scheduling, and invoicing. He's stressed and close to burnout, thinking he's being frugal by doing it all himself. Then, a mentor tells him, "Stop being the CEO and the janitor of your own business." Skeptical, David hires a virtual assistant, VA, for 5 hours a week at $30 an hour, a $150 weekly expense. His scarcity mindset screams that this is a waste. But watch what happens. The VA takes over his scheduling, email filtering, and invoicing. David suddenly gets 5 hours of his life back. More importantly, he gets back his mental space. That new clarity allows him to focus on what he does best, serving clients and finding new ones. In the first month, with his extra focus, he lands a new client that brings in an additional $2,000 a month. His $600 monthly investment in a VA has the potential to generate a massive return. He's less stressed, his work is better, and his income is higher. He didn't just buy a service, he bought focus and energy. The wealthy don't buy convenience because they're lazy. They buy it because they know focus is the asset that truly moves the needle. Number 5, networks, rooms, and relationships. The fifth thing rich people buy is often invisible, yet it can change everything. They buy access. Access to networks, exclusive rooms, and high-value relationships. Wealth grows faster in networks than in isolation. You can have the best idea in the world, but if no one knows about it, it's worthless. The wealthy understand that proximity is power. Being in the right room, with the right people, provides opportunities you could never find alone. A single conversation can lead to a partnership, a chance meeting to a new client, and a casual remark from a mentor can save you years of mistakes. The average person spends money to gain status among their peers. The wealthy often spend money to get into rooms where opportunity is everything. They buy tickets to industry conferences, join masterminds, and pay for memberships in professional organizations. They aren't just paying for the event, they're paying for the curated group of people who will be there. Let's imagine 2 aspiring entrepreneurs, Lisa and Tom, each with an extra $1,000. Tom spends his on a new designer wardrobe to look the part of a successful founder. He gets a temporary confidence boost. Lisa spends her $1,000 on a ticket to a niche tech conference in another state. Her friends think she's crazy. Why spend all that money just to listen to people talk? At the conference, Lisa is a sponge. She attends sessions, takes notes, and during the coffee breaks, she introduces herself. She asks smart questions. On the second day, she strikes up a conversation with a venture capitalist after a panel. The VC is impressed and gives her his card, telling her to send her business plan. That 10-minute conversation is the start of a mentorship. Over the next year, he provides Lisa with invaluable advice and introduces her to a potential co-founder. Eventually, his guidance helps her secure funding. Meanwhile, Tom's designer clothes are last season. His confidence has faded. Lisa's investment in access changed her life. Tom's investment in appearance changed nothing. The wealthy understand a profound truth. Your network can dramatically influence your net worth. Number 6, health, energy, and longevity. The sixth thing rich people buy might sound basic, but they treat it like a strategic investment. They buy health, energy, and longevity. They understand that health is the ultimate wealth. Your ability to earn, think, and enjoy your life is built on your physical and mental well-being. If your body breaks down, your financial plan can break down with it. For many people, health is an expense to be minimized. They opt for cheap processed food, neglect sleep, and avoid preventative care. They survive on caffeine and adrenaline, pushing toward burnout. The wealthy often adopt a different mindset. They see health as asset maintenance for a high-performance engine. They willingly spend a premium on things that increase their energy, focus, and lifespan. This means high-quality food, personal trainers, preventative health care, and tools for recovery and stress reduction, like therapy or meditation. And crucially, it means protecting their sleep. Consider the contrast between two executives, Mark and Daniel. Mark runs on 4 hours of sleep, prides himself on hustle, and lives on fast food and coffee. He thinks he's being tough and saving time. Daniel treats his health like a business asset. He has a non-negotiable bedtime. He pays for a healthy meal service. He works with a trainer and schedules therapy to manage stress. To an outsider, Daniel's expenses look much higher, but look at their output. Mark is often sick, suffers from afternoon brain fog, and makes reactive decisions. He's burning out. Daniel is consistent, focused, energetic, and resilient. He makes better decisions, his creativity is higher, and he avoids costly mistakes that come from exhaustion. He's on track for promotion, while Mark has hit a wall. Daniel isn't wasting money. He's buying better decisions. He's buying fewer sick days. He's buying the sustained energy required to build, and more importantly, enjoy his wealth for decades. You can't have financial wealth without your health. Number 7, cash flow systems and financial infrastructure. The 7th and final thing rich people buy is the least glamorous, but is critical for preserving wealth. They buy robust financial infrastructure and cash flow systems. Wealth isn't just about what you make, it's about what you keep and how efficiently it grows. The average person's financial life can be chaotic, scattered bills, forgotten subscriptions, and no clear picture of where the money is going. This disorganization is a silent killer of wealth, leaking money through late fees, untracked spending, and missed opportunities. The wealthy, or those on the path to wealth, build systems to manage their money. They invest in tools and professionals to create a seamless financial infrastructure. This is the plumbing of their financial house. What does this look like? It means using accounting software to meticulously track every dollar. It means using platforms that automate their investment strategy, taking emotion out of the equation. It means hiring a brilliant tax planner, not just a preparer, to legally and ethically minimize what is for many high earners their single biggest expense: taxes. Think of a small business owner, Emily. In the beginning, she does everything on messy spreadsheets. She's profitable, but constantly stressed. Tax season induces a panic attack. Finally fed up, she builds her infrastructure. She gets accounting software. She hires a bookkeeper for a few hours a month and a CPA for proactive tax planning. The transformation is profound. The software gives her a clean dashboard of her financial position. She discovers one service is barely profitable, while another is a goldmine. So she adjusts. Her CPA identifies legal deductions she missed, saving her thousands, more than paying for all the services combined. She didn't just buy software and services. She bought clarity, efficiency, and peace of mind. She plugged the silent leaks draining her finances. Wealth isn't just about making money. It's about building a fortress around that money so it doesn't leak away. So let's recap the 7 things rich people buy to get richer. They buy assets that generate income, businesses and ownership stakes, education and high-value skills, stable, time-saving systems, access to powerful networks, health, energy, and longevity, and robust financial infrastructure. What do all 7 of these have in common? They aren't about looking rich. They are about becoming rich. They are investments in leverage, ownership, time, and yourself. They are purchases that, instead of losing value, have the potential to grow and pay you back for years, even generations. The great secret is that this is a mindset, not an income bracket. The average person spends to feel rich today. The wealthy spend to become rich tomorrow. The good news is you can start today. You can buy a book instead of a new shirt. You can redirect money from an unused subscription into a low-cost index fund. You can spend an hour learning a new skill instead of scrolling social media. You don't need a 6-figure income to start thinking like an owner. You just need to make one decision and then make it over and over again. Stop buying status and start buying leverage. Stop buying things that disappear and start buying things that build. If this video shifted your perspective, please subscribe for more content designed to help you build real wealth. And now, a question for you. Which of these 7 things will you start investing in this week? It can be a small step. The most important thing is to start. Let me know in the comments below.